Hello all, this is Max, your Space Master for today. This is actually a major milestone for me in these tutorials. Back in 2012, I tried making a series of videos to some success, but it just got old, and I quit on it. And now it's 2014, and I really don't want to let this opportunity go by. And what had always stopped me was just getting to combat. And it appears that the other people making tutorials on the video have always stopped before getting to combat, and that has always been a tough thing um, to me to try to learn through it, try to figure out how to do combat. And frankly, I still don't really know how. I mean, I've been able to encounter ships and take out precursors without too much thought and uh, take over homeworlds of other NPCs. Um, but even then, it's a struggle to figure out how to actually do combat in a very meaningful way that works every single time. It's a hard subject, is what I'm trying to get at. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and look to combat. It's been about a year within the game since we had the last encounter. In fact, while I was exploring a little bit more, I encountered a few new people. Let's see, July 20, yeah, so nearly a year. Um, but after the first encounter, it's been well over a year. Um, so I think it's time to go ahead and get started on um, creating a military. Let's get started. We are designing technology for our military. We're going to need to have energy weapons, non-energy weapons, and missiles. Let's just go down the list. Active sensors right here. Um, I would like to create a couple of active sensors for different roles in the fleet. I'm going to create um, three primary, how would you say it? Three primary classes of ships. One's going to be a sensor ship, one's going to be a missile ship, and the other is going to be an energy weapon slash anti-missile ship. All right. So the first active sensor that we're going to have is for our sensor ship, and I would like it to be a pretty uh, huge sensor here, and we're going to keep the minimum resolution at 10 whole. Excuse me, at 10. I'm sorry, 100 whole whatever, and then we're going to do a second one with the minimum resolution of one whole size, and that way we can see missiles from a long ways out. Range versus size 6, we can see the smallest one, a very small missile at 2 million kilometers out. So that'll be nice, and we'll create that. Now for our missile fire control, it's going to be substantially smaller. I'm going to put it at 5. This one is going to be, and we switch that here, for our anti-missile fire control right here, and then a more normal missile control here. Alright, so we've taken care of those. Let's look at our beam fire control. Somewhere on the wiki they suggested doing this, so I've always done it. 4 times the size, meaning your accuracy at this range, your normal range is 16,000. We're going to do that, and then we're going to do this, which helps track missiles. Now, why don't we do both? Well, then it becomes a size 16, and we basically double the size of the fire control, which on the ships that we'll be dealing with, just a little bit too much. All right, this is our last-ditch defense against missiles. So we're going to create this. And remember, the defaults are always the best that we have. So I'm not changing a lot here. Cloaking device, we don't have cloaking, as you can see here. An EM detection sensor. I'm going to make a size 10 on the EM detection sensor, and then on the thermal sensor, I'm going to do a size 10, and that's going to go on the sensor ship. Alright, so back to EM. Okay, engines. I'm going to keep it exactly how it is, except I think we're going to increase the power a hint. That reduces our fuel economy by quite a bit, but I do want, we're not even going to win. Okay, we're going to keep it at 0, at just regular 1. We're not going to win against a ship that's doing 4,000 kilometers per second, and the best that we're going to probably pull out of the hat is 2 to 3,000 kilometers per second. So if we're going to lose, let's lose and win on other fronts. Remember, our budget is the tonnage of our ship. All right, Gauss cannon. All right, so that's fine. We'll just create that. High power microwave, I always skip over it. Jump engines. Okay, our maximum ship size, I would like it to go up to right there is fine. Based on, I'm basing all of this, everything I'm doing on our shipyards. We have a 9,000, a 9,000, and 5,000. All right. So we're going to have those different types of ships. So our 9,000 is going to go up to here. There we go. Let's see, lasers. Keep that all the same. Magazine. Okay, so the magazine's what holds our missiles. So I'm going to increase it to a rather, I don't know, maybe just go here, 5. No, we'll keep it 10. And HTK is like your hit points. Hit to kill is what it means. I'm going to put it at 2. Mason cannon. I don't know if I want to skip this one. We're going to skip this. It's similar to lasers, only that they don't disintegrate as far as the range goes. Like it has a set range, and that's that. And it only does 1 damage every time. So I'm going to skip it. Missile engines. I'm going to increase the power all the way. And the size, we're going to have anti-missiles. So I'm going to make this one fairly small. And then this next one sort of up there. And one that's just going to go way out there. Okay. Those were ballparked, by the way. Okay, missile launcher, we'll keep it as it is. Except for that, I just created a size 1 missile launcher for our anti-ship missiles, or anti-missile missiles, and then we're going to do a size 7 for a smaller one, and then a size 20 for the big one. So we'll have 3 different classes of missiles. Particle beam we're going to skip. Cannonades we're going to skip. Plasma torpedoes, we don't have the prerequisite technology power plants. We're going to have a size 1 power plant here. That will create energy for energy-based weapons. Railgun will skip. Shields, I mean, sure, you could have shields, but what we have is just not very good. And we could basically do without, for one thing, and for the second thing, um, we could put in place of the shields something way better. So it's just marginally not that good. And thermal sensors we've already done. So good, we're all finished there. I'm going to turn on Space Master to expedite this process of researching all our racial tech. And that way I'm just going to instantly research everything that we've done and designed right there. Oh, turrets. Turrets are always a tricky thing. Geez, we have a bunch of the same lasers. If you'll excuse me for half a second. Okay. These are always tricky. What was the time on that, by the way? All right, 11 minutes. All right. The size is really difficult. We want a good turret, but if you move up, like we're starting at 3, and if we go to the quad, it gets pretty big at 10. And then if we want to add any armor, I mean, now we've got that armor size, you add them up, it's okay. So it's difficult to try to find a good turret. And of course, if you're going to make it a quad, there's more surface area, so the armor thickness is going to go up. So it's hard to figure it out. So what I'm going to do is go like that. Nope. Okay, so it's going to be just right at 10 here. Turret size, nope, it's going to be right there actually. Total size 18, there we go. 18 plus that 9.9, there we go. It's just a big, turrets are big here. Let's go with the twin at, how fast were they going? Let's call it 5,000 now. Gear size, that's a lot more manageable. We'll create that. Close. Missiles. Based on our previous designs, what we want to do, and we've talked about warhead strength in a previous tutorial, we're going to keep it at perfect squares. Agility. Now this is just going to be your standard anti-ship missile. We're going for 7, a size of 7. And we want it to go out fairly far. Let's see here. Alright, range. That's pretty far out there. But what we'll have to come back to missiles once we have an idea for how far out our active sensor ranges go. And we'll design the ship based and then make the missile fit the ship basically. So we'll come back to these. 14 minutes, okay. We'll go ahead and stop this for now, and next up we'll start designing our military ships.